Right. Well, YouTube decided then to not allow me to view my face before I started recording, so sorry about the beginning of that video. Right, this is a quick vlog just to say I'm still alive, still in the land of living, bogged down with work, sitting doing the most monotonous stuff you can think of, but it pays, and it's a lot better than some jobs. So yeah, basically very minimal online interaction from me. You'll see recently I've been a bit more active on my blog. Put a link in the description below, where it's djpixie.wordpress.com, and basically just the odd rant on there. One of the main things being, I think I mentioned it last video, the fact that EA and bringing out Sims 4 later on this year, and well, in a couple of weeks now, and I'm still on the fence about buying it. Definitely one that I want to look at some point, but my problem is I don't know if anybody has ever come across this problem with EA in particular, but they bring out a game like The Sims in particular is one of the best models for this. They bring out a game, sell how well they've upgraded it, how much new content they've put into it, how many new features they've put onto it. Forget to mention that they've taken out half of the core features from the last version of the game. Forget to mention that half of the features that they have taken out they will be putting back in, but in an expansion pack later in game probably, where you have to pay another 20-30 quid for that. Now, me personally, I don't agree with taking content out of a game unless you really have to. It's one of the things I get really pissed off with when it comes to Sims games. They make the game so much better over the course of the expansions, they build it up and they add so much content, and then when the next generation of Sims games comes around, the base game doesn't include any of this extra content they've pushed in the previous generation. So basically it's like they're not bringing out a new game, they're bringing out the old game again, but just tightening up the graphics, and maybe they might add in something, make it a little bit more user friendly, which is what's happening with Sims 4. I really appreciate what they're doing with Sims 4, but I really think that EA and the money making model of it needs to be changed. It's the only thing that brings the game down for me. It's a best selling game, they make enough money out of it. Why charge 20-30 quid well, at the start they charge like 20 quid for stuff packs, I think it is, and 30-40 pound for expansion packs. Now I'm sorry, but the stuff packs now for Sims 3 retail around about a tenner, I think, and if you're lucky you might be able to get some for a fiver. That is more reasonable for a stuff pack. They don't add major content to the game, they just add a few extra items and bits and bats, and there's some worlds online that you can get on the Sims store, and they're pretty worth, like, say a fiver or something to get that, but they're not going to sell well if they're charging 20-40 quid, except for the market that they're obviously tapping into, which is the kids that want this game and go pandering to their parents. I want the latest Sims stuff, I want the latest Sims stuff, and they'll get it because their parents have no idea what they're doing. Now, the more sort of Sims gamer like myself, who's a little bit older, who had to pay for it themselves, and could actually be the parent as well, is at that age, sees the problem with this sort of model. I don't agree with EA being the biggest, one of the biggest, if not the biggest publisher for games out there, and they still will not give you nothing back. What they give you back, I've just been noticing, if I take that back just for a second, Origin, I've had 2 or 3 emails recently from Origin giving me Peggle, which is a game I've never tried, never want to try, no interest in it whatsoever. And what is it, Wing Commander 3 or something, another game, never heard of it, never really interested in playing it, never crossed my mind to get involved in that game. But basically they're offering these free games to try and redeem themselves from basically SimCity being an absolute waste of space, because they just can't see that bringing in this new multiplayer mode is not what SimCity is all about, and bringing in small tiny village sized maps and claiming that this is awesome is just not what we want. We want SimCity 2000 size maps, we want Cities XL size maps, we want the huge maps, and people will say, well, go play Cities XL. I do, admittedly, not much now that I'm working at that, I have the time to play such a huge game, but I want that in SimCity. EA, SimCity, Maxis, the better game, but since after SimCity 4 they've just disappeared off the radar. I did try SimCity Societies and I did think it was okay, but why they constantly push this online thing for a game that is not about online gameplay? It's never been about online gameplay and it never will be. Nobody cares about online SimCity. It just, no, not interested. The people who care about online SimCity are not the people who buy SimCity. They're the people who could buy SimCity if you make it online. So if you want to keep the original fan base, you need to create an offline mode, or you need to allow huger, and with this offline mode maybe just allow people to have that feature of a huge city, because that's what people want. So now they go to Sims and they're sticking the fingers in that. Will Wright is a legend, but since he has left the head of these two game franchises, they've both been a little substandard. Like, there's been good ideas, there's been progress, there's been potential there for them to stay as amazing as they were in the beginning, but they've just lost that little bit of cutting edge. Now, I don't know whether that's because Will Wright's not involved or not, but it is definitely a big disappointment to a lot of hardcore fans. I think that Sims is purely based on milking the kids who play the game for the most amount of money possible. I'm not entirely sure on this, but I would hazard a guess that there's like a split of like heavily kids that play Sims, and on top of that, people like myself who are sort of big gamers and have grown up with it from when they were kids, or like younger, or maybe not younger, like a demographic of slightly more females than males. I get a lot of weird looks and weird comments from guys when I tell them I'm still playing the Sims franchise. So yeah, basically EA, biggest company and biggest milkers of anything they can milk. Not knocking them business wise, they're making a lot of money, fair play to them, but they're a games company, the one industry that, as far as I knew, survived the recession pretty easily. Yet they're still milking the consumer for all they can. They're not giving a hell of a lot back. And I kind of had to eat these words earlier, and I'm reminded that when SimCity absolutely flopped, they did offer us a free game, and the free games they did offer were fairly reasonably good titles. I think I went for Need for Speed Most Wanted, which I regret because I just not played it, mainly because I got it on PC, I couldn't get it on console, and I'm not really a PC gamer when it comes to racing games or first person shooters. I was kind of left in the lurch most of the games, and the games that I could get other than that were games that I didn't want to get from a moral standpoint. They offered SimCity 4 or SimCity 3000 UK edition or something, some old SimCity game, and I just thought, yeah, you're offering that, yet you cannot fail to surely you see the irony that you're offering that game when the reason you're offering it is because your current version of SimCity is absolutely shy. So basically that's that. So basically, yeah, just a little plug. Go check out my blog if you feel free. I'm just basically going to leave it about here. Just really enjoy whatever games you play. Don't not get Sims 4 if you enjoy the game, but if you don't like EA, like myself, and you're still on the fence, check out as much content as you can beforehand and look at where it's cheapest. That's what I'm doing. I'm looking at where the cheapest place for me to get it is, because, well, at the minute, Origin and other online platforms, the only one that I'm ever buying games from online is Steam, and if I'm feeling particularly rich, PSN, because I have a PlayStation 4 and it might be useful for me to get something on there. But yeah, don't go out and buy it straight away if you're not sure. That's my advice, because it is going to be cool, but the novelty might just wear off. And if needs be, I'm not saying that I don't or do support piracy, but when it comes to EA's games, I see no reason why you shouldn't try before you buy, especially after the SimCity cock-up. So yeah, and I'm not sure how much truth there is behind this, but I've heard that in the UK, piracy, internet piracy, probably more related to movies and music, it is going to be sort of decriminalised, if you will. So basically it's not going to be a big deal anymore, which is kind of nice, because I do get a bit pissed off with the idea that they charge stupid amounts for DVDs and music and such, and then they wonder why everybody goes around downloading them all and just listens to, like, it was like Tanya Stephens' song that had a comment in it about, like, it's just not right to pay for a full album to get that one good song. So yeah, let's hope it's true. I will catch you, well, hopefully on my blog. If not, next time I'm on here, feel free to pop in. Take it easy.